Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and a warm welcome to the record 6,000 plus number of people from more than 80 countries that have signed up to our first virtual conference. When we first announced the theme of the conference for 2020, the power of networks, little did I know how much it would resonate with us today. There is nothing like a global pandemic to force us to see how interconnected and interdependent we all are. When supply chain disruptions in China have a far-reaching impact on the availability of goods around the world, or stay-at-home orders in India cripple livelihoods and create rippling effects throughout the global economy. This interconnectedness is both our greatest challenge and our greatest strength. For a network like AVPN, whose role model is based on collective action, we have always recognized that it is only by harnessing the power of networks, transcending geographical borders, and leveraging our shared humanity that we will be able to tackle the many social and environmental challenges that we face. That has never been more true or more urgent than it is today. But this morning, I don't simply wish to celebrate the power of networks. What I do wish to address is the responsibility that comes along with this. My 21-year-old daughter, who has been very affected by the current world events, is especially concerned with the inequality and struggle happening in many parts of the world. The other day she told me that even though things may be happening in other countries and not directly affecting us in Asia, the fact that I had a platform meant that I had the responsibility to highlight these issues and drive social change. You, me, all of us here today, all part of the platform now, have this opportunity for change. In essence, she was paraphrasing the old adage, with great power comes great responsibility. We have all witnessed how the world has quickly pivoted when faced with this pandemic, and we know that no one will come out of this unscathed. However, there are still too many people who are carrying other burdens like gender inequality, racial inequality, and income inequality that the pandemic has only further exacerbated. In India, where I grew up, when the government announced its draconian lockdown, there were millions of migrant workers struggling to get home. And in subsequent days and weeks, we have seen heart-rending scenes of people even walking thousands of kilometers just to make it to their loved ones. Unfortunately, there were many who never did. Not too far away in Singapore, where I am now, the pandemic struck at our most vulnerable and highlighted the challenges of income inequality, even in a high-income country. From an outbreak in migrant worker dorms that resulted in Singapore having one of the highest caseloads in Southeast Asia, to low-income households who are still struggling with digital access and online education, no country has been immune to the far-reaching impacts of this pandemic, whether rich or poor. Our ability to get through a pandemic, or any crisis for that matter, is only as strong as our weakest link, our most vulnerable. Their distress and misfortune have highlighted just how much we need to change if we are to succeed as a human race. It is no longer about our individual community, economy, or country. It is about humanity, and it is time to change the status quo. Integrating impact into everything that we do is critical for the new normal. We can no longer think about impact as just giving back, or doing good, or feeling good. The new normal must be that social and environmental priorities are interconnected with economic progress. The time for innovative social solutions is now. The time to leverage all forms of capital towards these solutions is now. And the time for overcoming our differences to collaborate and scale these solutions is now. As we begin to rebuild, thinking holistically, inclusively, and sustainably is the only way we will rise from this pandemic together, with a shared purpose and deepened respect for our collective humanity and for this planet we call home. It is only then that we can ensure our future resilience as we face even greater challenges like climate change that come ahead. So what does this mean for us? We are all here in this room today because we have the resources and, yes, the privilege to drive social and environmental impact. As we kickstart the AVPN 2020 virtual conference, I would like to explore what this truly means. In this age of information explosion, we need to have a discerning ear to cut through the noise. Take a step back and assess where the priorities and real partners are. Understand what you really want to achieve out of the work that you do. How do you ensure that you are not just reducing harm, but creating actual good and doing right by society, and most importantly, ensuring systems change? Take decisions that impact not only a chosen few, but improve the lives of many. For many, we are hoping that things will return to normal. How do we define this normal? As we start thinking about what we want to rebuild, we must also think about what we should rebuild. This pandemic is only the start of more crises to come. If we do not take this as a wake-up call and prepare for long-term sustainability, the world will not change unless every one of us plays a part. This means taking stock of our situation, first as a part of shared humanity, before taking on our individual identities of a businessman, a philanthropist, a politician, or a social investor. It is time to reset our lives, our societies, and our economies to a true north that is guided by long-termism and sustainability. And that means moving from profit maximization, business at any cost thinking, to a multi-stakeholder mindset that recognizes what monetary bottom lines are costing all of us. The new normal must be that we maximize value for our communities, our employees, our investors, and our planet. There is nothing clearer than the present moment to show us that we can no longer stand at the sidelines. We need to come to terms with this new reality, that there is no more time. We need to move now towards creating a more equitable, inclusive, and sustainable world together. This crisis gives us the opportunity to play a role as a great unifier rather than a divider. AVPN has been taking steps to facilitate this journey by creating pathways that bring members together around common goals. And I would like to share a few examples with you now in hopes that we can accelerate progress and create synergies across our diverse network. First, to address the humanitarian issues as a result of the ongoing pandemic, our members are calling for fellow funders and resource providers in their own markets to pool resources together and scale solutions on the ground that are addressing issues brought to the fore by COVID-19. I would also like to encourage you all to sign on to our COVID-19 pledge, which signals funders' ongoing support of their grantees and investees by providing flexibility, striving for transparent communications, building capacity, and sharing knowledge. You can scan the code here to find out more. Now is not the time to reduce social spending. We must look beyond the present crisis and reconsider how social investment can support resilient ecosystems to become less vulnerable in times of uncertainty. AVPN is also looking to empower women and girls across sectors and borders. Despite progress made for women and girls in the region, new figures estimate that at the current pace of change, the global gender gap will take a century to close. This is just unacceptable. But to frame this differently, if we advance women's equality in Asia Pacific alone, it would raise the collective GDP by more than $4.5 trillion in 2025. This, you will all agree, would be game-changing. We must accelerate this progress to empower women and girls, whether through access to education, healthcare, employment, land rights, and more. If we can achieve gender equality, it will exponentially accelerate solutions towards other goals. As we plan for a post-COVID-19 world, there is no better time than now to relook, reset, and commit to making these changes that are required. AVPN's new gender platform aims to inspire and engage social investors to prioritize their impact for women and girls. Watch this space for case studies and testimonials from role models who are leading this work, and share with us your resources and insights, which we would love to feature for community knowledge sharing. If this pandemic has given us hope in any one area, it is that of accelerating our efforts to combat the climate crisis. By pushing emissions to where they were a decade ago, we have a chance to right some wrongs in our own lifetimes. As economies restart, it is important that we keep sustainability and climate top of mind. The AVPN Climate Action Platform, launched last year, is a platform to discover partners and investable opportunities across Asia to aid us in this journey. The way forward has to be one of collaborations and partnership. And keeping that in mind, at the start of the year, AVPN decided to launch a new initiative that recognized unique multi-sector collaborations that are addressing complex challenges in Asia. Constellations, the unique formation of stars in the sky that have guided voyagers for thousands of years and inspired countless dreamers. It was with this intention to inspire and guide our community that we launched the AVPN's Constellations, which will highlight successful multi-sector partnerships tackling systemic challenges in Asia. Our hope is not just to celebrate these successful initiatives, but also to form a blueprint for others to emulate. There is no one-size-fits-all collaborative framework, but through these 5 laureates, which I will announce in a minute, it is my hope that we can learn from their examples and find opportunities to build on or replicate or adapt their efforts across the amazing network. First, I would like to present and thank the panel of judges who helped us choose these 5 laureates. Motushi Sengupta from MacArthur Foundation, Bradley Bussetto from UNDP Global Center, Faye Tversky from Hewlett Foundation, and Francis Nai from Social Venture Hong Kong, who has been critical in assessing all our applications. We thank you all for your participation and your comments. Now, I would like to announce our 5 laureates. If you have your phones with you, you can scan the code and learn more about their collaborations and find out how you can engage with them. In no particular order, our first laureate is BISA, or Better Investment for Stunting Alleviation, a collaborative initiative amongst 4 organizations, the Power of Nutrition, Nutrition International, DFAT, and Asia Philanthropy Circle, designed to combat stunting in Indonesia. Our second laureate is the Quality Education India Development Impact Bond, a collaborative initiative supported by the British Asian Trust and UBS Optimus Foundation. Our third laureate is especially relevant during this time, the initiative to integrate AI into India's public health sector. This is a multi-sector collaboration amongst International Innovation Corps, the Rockefeller Foundation, and the Government of India's Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Our fourth laureate is the Future Right Skills Network, a partnership between Accenture, Cisco, and Quest Alliance in India. And lastly, but definitely not the least, we have our fifth laureate, Inspirasi, a collaborative model amongst Stanoto Foundation, Jarum Foundation, and Triputra Agro Persada in Indonesia to improve school leadership. Each of these 5 laureates has an amazing story to tell, and we hope you will visit our Constellations page, where you can watch a short film on each initiative. Thank you to everyone who submitted collaborations for the inaugural Constellations program. We remain truly in awe of our members and their incredible work, and look forward to hearing more from the laureates as well as all other entrants to the further outcomes of these initiatives. As I wrap off this kickoff to the AVPN's 8th annual conference and our first ever virtual conference, I want to say a special thank you to my incredible team who has managed to turn around our biggest in-person event of the year into an unprecedented virtual event in record time. I also want to thank our partners who have made it possible for us to open this event up to AVPN's broadest, most global audience ever. We thank you for your belief in AVPN and for walking the walk of supporting your partners through turbulent times. I would also like to thank our founder, Doug Miller, who had the vision to start this incredible network and has helped foster networks around the globe to drive capital towards impact. I would like to close with this final thought. While no one would have chosen the circumstances which brought us to this moment in history, let us look at this global crisis as an opportunity for expanding the tent, reaching out across the silos that have separated us, and working together with renewed purpose to create systematic change and build the tomorrow that humanity deserves. It is time to smash the status quo. We are all social investors now. Thank you, and I hope you find great insights and make lasting connections over the next 5 days.